Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final match of the Elite 8 of the 2021 Disc Golf Pro Tour Match Play Championship presented by Discmania. We have a barn burner today. Nate at the Steel Club, Emerson Keith versus James Conrad to see who will move on to the semifinals.
Yeah, we saw Emerson with the biggest upset of the event so far, taking down our points champion, Ricky Wysocki.
Winner of this match is going to move on to play Calvin Heimberg in the semifinals, moving into the final match. Look at the stat, Mando. James and Emerson have had some heated battles, 3 ties. They're 11 strokes different.
11 strokes off.
After
That's
all
incredible.
these events. Yeah, let's get into it.
Hole 1, 950, uphill. Plays a little over 1,000 feet. There's OB everywhere. You've got to throw 450 twice.
A lot of tough matches have begun on this hole. You know,
on this Elite 8 card is James Conrad versus Emerson Keith. First on the tee, your current PDGA Pro World Champion, your 7th seed in this event, hailing from Blacksburg, Virginia. Give it up for James Conrad.
and both of these players seem very well versed. Was that Joel Freeman with an Arobi ring in the background? Joel is ready to rumble on this course as well.
Yeah, Garrett got a giant box of those rings because he's actually trying to set the world record.
For the longest thrown object, correct?
Yeah.
And James smashes a flex right in that little pocket down there.
It's a good shot.
I believe that longest thrown object record is like 2,000 feet or something like that. Some outrageous distance.
To date, hailing out of Argyle, Texas. Give it up for Emerson Keith.
Another player that is showing up at the Steel Club. This is going to be a heated match. That needs to come back left. I don't know, Nate. Oh, no, I don't...
Oh, it just slowly drifted from left to right that whole time. I thought it was good out of his hand.
I didn't think it came back in bounds, but looks like he did cross a little bit. Whatever disc this is just keeps drifting. And that's another out of bounds. That's basically the hole for James. Nice and low. And at this point, he can take a bogey and still win the hole. Emerson has to pretty much throw this in. And that's going to do it right there already. Like I said, hole 1 has deflated players right from the start.
It's giving up points for sure.
Into number 2, 725. Uphill push hyzer. Flip a little bit. Land safely on this flat surface. I really like this uphill soft landing approach shot that it makes the players throw. There's also a lot of uncomfortable risk-reward second shots you see with either tough footing or being a little bit off in the tall grass. One of my favorite holes on the course. And that is picture perfect from James. Ooh, Emerson getting a little aggressive.
Yeah, he's going rive off the tee here.
That's got to keep coming. And
It's such a big difference being up there in the brush or getting out to that short grass.
yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Risk reward upshot. You can go for this if you want, but you are fighting against a downslope. And the OB's off to that right side. He does pull it exactly where he needed to, but that is still really tough up and down.
It's a good looking shot. A little bit more air underneath that. He might have slid on the green. And James got way up here.
And a little bit low. He needs a slide, and it does not get enough airspace. So James has a 70-footer. Ooh, gives it a bid.
It definitely looked like a bid from behind.
I can't imagine Emerson is really wanting to run the 3 here. I'm sure he's fine with the split. Both are about 10 feet away. And they do pick up their discs, and they move on to number 3. We watched Emerson throw a fantastic drive on this hole, showcasing his distance chops. It's a tough one to get right.
Yeah, it is. Tough one to score on. James going Fission Photon here.
Yeah, it's a tough one to score on in the sense that a lot of players are taking the same number on this hole. There's not a lot of 4s. And James going inside with a huge flex backhand.
Guys out in the clear.
I'm guessing Emerson is going similar line. Eagle showcasing us in a previous round how tough it truly is to get the disc left and get it to fade all the way around the trees. Emerson was trying to go inside. Still gets out. Still going to put himself about 300 from the basket. Wow, Emerson even closer than 300 feet.
Yeah.
He's parked for a 3. James has a little bit of a putt here. 30 feet.
That's a cool angle. I
No
really
problem
like
for
that.
James. And we're going to move into number 4 after another split.
Me and my brother and my dad were out there for hours just playing disc golf, having fun.
That's like one of the first things we usually say. It's a great family sport.
We got to do it as a family.
And it builds relationship. Like, I know my dad so much better because of disc golf.
It's nice that that's something that we can connect and go do together.
My parents are 100% behind it. Bad rounds, good rounds, doesn't matter. They always have a smile on their face.
We don't call it sacrifice, we call it fun.
Get out there and have fun. At the end of the day, most important is have fun.
435. There's a bit of a ceiling right off the tee. Kind of makes you throw a little bit more of a direct line. There is OB left as well. Elevated bucket.
James going distance driver.
He's been leaving it a little wide. He said he wanted to take it more direct. And he leaves it wide again.
I keep thinking he wants to put more height on it. That's like what he's trying to do, is that flat to fade Stahlheiser. But you got to control the stability with the height of the disc rather than the wing angle. And yeah, just same mistake again.
Looks smooth.
That looks really good, Nate. And
This is a hole that he took one on Ricky.
we've seen James hit him from this distance in this tournament already. No way. Oh, just off the top.
That was almost the exact same distance that he cast against Joel.
There it is, all square. Emerson takes the stroke back. We're going to jump into number 5. A hole that's kind of giving people some issues. And like you said, players were allowed to throw practice putts. Correct.
Yeah. Different. I like it.
A lot different.
Yeah. And just pick up their tap ins. That's different too.
It feels less formal, but at the same time, like, this is a pretty established event with some serious cash on the line.
Yeah, 10,000 to first. It's you can't decide to pick it up. Your partner has to say, okay, you don't have to putt that.
If only it were like that in stroke play, Nate.
Hey, you're good, Brian. You're good.
Yeah,
you're like, you sure? I've been struggling with this distance.
Yeah,
like,
definitely need that.
I need it too.
These boys certainly don't. Emerson moving into number 5. He's liking just this straight shot.
Oh, and he tested that ceiling, and that's the branch that makes this hole so tricky off the tee.
James going aggressive here. I like this for the skill set that he has. He doesn't want to throw the giant flex sidearm on his second shot. He wants to get as far up there as he can.
Grunt for 10% extra power.
This is...
That's a great roller. He's still on that left side where we've seen a lot of players throw that flex forehand.
Oh, and he got a nasty kick.
What is he lining up?
I think he's lining up that gap straight ahead, forehand. He's got nothing to lose at this point. Clean, it sounds like.
What a
Look
shot.
at that.
Emerson Keith.
He's got a shot at birdie. He's just outside. Maybe a 55, 60 footer. And James still able to come in with a backhand.
Whoa. Okay.
No way.
Those approaches were just...
Landing a righty backhand on a right to left slope from that spot is so tough. And that's going to do it right there. James, 2 fantastic shots. And Emerson concedes the hole. James back up 1, moving into number 6, 390. I mean, we've said it numerous times. It's given the players a lot of trouble. There's depth perception that comes into play. There's strategy in regards to landing your disc that comes into play. James playing it nice and wide. He's been missing long recently. And this is much, much better for James. This is looking good from Emerson if it sits down.
The bite. Oh, it's early. Big mistake.
Yet again.
That's a very common miss we've seen on this hole.
And he sat down. Emerson has to make his circle 2 putt to tie James and split the hole.
Is this the putt with the biggest hinge out there?
Oh, yeah. So smooth.
I could watch that again.
Again, a putt that
Gatekeeper
you might
rewind.
not see, in stroke play. It's a fantastic putt.
Hole 7 plays slightly downhill into this little bowl and starts to head back uphill to a pretty tight green. One of the holes where players can just open up. We've seen max distance rollers on this one. Seen a couple 600-foot air shots. James with his photon.
I love the height on this one. Slow drift to the right. And then carries down the hill nicely. He's got a short look to the basket.
I just had a funny thought, Brian, I have to share with you. What if for each disc they had their own specific sound so that
When it came out of the hand?
for the coverage so that when they throw it, they're like, oh, it went pew. That was the photon.
Yeah.
And the destroyer had its own sounds. Like, yeah, that's the destroyer.
I feel like Discraft's line up with all the bugs and annoying birds. It's just wouldn't be great marketing for them.
And the buzz.
Yeah.
Is buzzing in your ear.
And this is
Okay, so
an infamous butterfly.
yeah, there's a story with this butterfly, actually. Emerson found this butterfly in the woods, picked it up on his finger, and it just didn't want to leave him. He put it on his shoulder for a little bit, and he went to go throw, and he put it on his bag, and it stayed on his bag.
Well, you know what they say about a monarch butterfly, Nate? It's a good omen. It's a sign of good things to come.
Okay.
At least it should. That's what I've been told.
Well, I'll follow up the second half of the story in just a couple holes for you.
Like this shot from James. It's just got to sit down.
Whoa.
Oh, and he's just on the edge of the fringe. And they're calling him out of bounds. This is to take the hole. Oh, and he misses to the right. James has a tap in for the 4. That was Emerson's opportunity right there. And James is barely out of bounds, maybe by a half an inch. And there it is. James stays up 1. 5 holes remaining.
Very similar setup to the previous hole. 720. Roller doesn't play as well here. There's OB left. That green on the right is OB, and this basket is elevated.
I feel like we've only seen 1 or 2 4s on this hole. This is the one that players are having a very easy time completing. You know, it's straightforward. James looks like he's wanting to park the basket. Look at this shot. Fantastic shot from James. It's just how far the best throwers are throwing a putter now. 720 is just especially straightforward. If there's shape to it, it's different. 720 straightforward is pretty much a cakewalk. Oh, yeah. Both are looking at the basket from about 200 to 250.
It's a big shot from Emerson.
Sticks it. And we're going to have another split, Nate.
It's a close match.
Yeah, we're moving into one of the defining holes of a lot of matches.
Hole 9, 555. Yeah, you said it, Brian. This hole has definitely had a big impact on previous matches. We saw Emerson actually park this one to take a point on Ricky in the round of 16. James has his vault here. He's trying to throw this one low with a little bit of turn.
He has crushed this shot. Oh, and it lands softly.
That's just outside the circle.
Pressure on Emerson now.
Okay, so the butterfly left Emerson, and it landed on Nico's leg. And when Nico threw on this hole, the butterfly died.
No, it didn't.
It died. And so on the 2 out of 9. So if finding a butterfly is a good omen or a monarch, I don't know what killing one is, but
Oh no. I haven't heard any folklore about dead monarch butterflies, but living ones.
this is a big putt right here with James being a good 15 feet closer.
No
He
way!
drops it in. What?
Give us the
An
rewind.
angle. Oh, different view too.
Little walk through. That is complete danger.
Wow, the fist pump. That was a huge moment.
Because now the pressure's on James. James is still 30, 35 feet away from the basket. Tie.
Wow, we are
Game.
all square.
3 holes remaining. James picks up. What a putt from Emerson Keith. 510 feet. OB all down the left side. We've seen this hole get put pretty close, but it is not easy, and it depends on what the wind is doing out there. It seems pretty calm right now. Emerson is going with that flippier distance driver that he was trying to throw on hole 1, I believe. Oh no.
He knew it right out of his hand. I mean, that's a big mistake. I'm not saying that James can't reach this one, but this is one that it's okay to split, take a par on.
Yeah, I don't think people are expecting to park this hole. You have to throw a pretty pristine shot to get up there. But, seeing where Emerson went, James is just going to do the best he can. And this is totally fine. It's a big up and down for Emerson. You wonder if he's trying to throw it in or not from here.
I think he has to with being OB.
You
if
see
he
where
doesn't
James
wanna-
is, and James
Yeah.
can jump putt from over 100 feet. Yeah, no problem. James is going to go up 1. And you knew Emerson had the momentum, and he was trying to throw a big, flipping, distance shot to get the 2 on this hole. And we're going to move in number 11. 2 holes remaining in the match. James is up a point. Big flex over the tree line, 580. I mean, it's an entertaining tee shot to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's a very difficult tee shot that a lot of these players, they just have the power to make it look easy, but it is a really steep line right off the pad.
Full commitment from James. No problem. He's in the middle of the fairway. Emerson, we watched him go out of bounds right.
Really hard to do.
Flipped it too much, which is hard to do throwing as high as you're throwing this shot.
He's probably got that in the back of his mind right here. He's going to try and make the correction. Definitely throwing a more stable disc.
I mean, the line looks better. Yeah, makes the correction. They're about the same spot in the fairway. Emerson to shoot. James now knows what to do here, depending on his shot.
Nice shot.
And that is pretty much stuck 15, 20 feet from the basket. Okay. 28-footer. This is essentially for the split. Emerson's parked. Still makes it. Nate.
Well, I couldn't.
That was a weird putt.
Yeah, it seemed like from James's body language, he thought that he missed it, and it hit high right, and it's in the bottom of the cage.
And that was a break that Emerson needed moving into the last hole. Last hole doesn't give you a lot of opportunities to make a move, really. He's going to have to go for the 2 on this one, Nate. 760. James is going to throw a placement hyzer, throw a putter under the basket. Emerson has to go big blast on this one. And here's James setting the pace.
Yeah, the closest shot we've seen was Garrett Gerthy getting just inside circle 2, and that was a huge drive.
Yeah, James taking some off, even though he just did a full 360 off the tee
That's heading
pad.
for the OB.
He's safe. He kicked back in bounds.
Whoa.
That's the best break you could possibly get. Now Emerson has to go for the 2. And he's put a really good move on this, but it keeps moving right. Both are in a good spot to take a 3, but James still has work to do. He's not incredibly close to the basket.
It's a tester. That's circle's edge right there.
Yeah.
Emerson could put the pressure on here if he puts it close.
And he does. 10 feet. James for the win from circle's edge. Nails it. Wow.
Right in the heart.
That
Buried
is
that
the
one.
world champ right there. That is world champion putting in the clutch for the win. Great match. What a fight from Emerson Keith.
And that wraps up the Elite 8. We've just got 3 matches left for you guys.
Eagle, Dickerson, Calvin, Conrad. Semifinals are about to begin. make sure to tune into Gatekeeper Media. You can find me, Brian Earhart, on Instagram at Brian_Earhart. And Nate, where can they find you on Instagram?
I'm at Perks of Disc Golf. Go leave a comment on my latest post for a chance to win a pair of Team Discmania P2s.
We will see you next time, folks.